Welcome to the Sky Podcast.
We never really got to a point wherein na parang, let's parang change our lives drastically to cope with this certain thing. Parang everything seemed organic. Everything like flows. For example, ako dati, when I was younger, sobrang tagal kong magigising. Magigising ako 10, 11, and you know this.
Sometimes after lunch.
Oo, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero ngayon, because of work, because of Scotty, organically, I'm not even like, wala nang alarm. Nagigising na ako mga 7, 7:30, ganyan.
Because also, I think deep inside, like the whole house is awake.
Maybe, or parang, nababago din yung sleeping schedule ko. I tend to sleep earlier. Organic siya. And income-wise, parang I feel like when we were kids, parang, paano kaya, no? Si mami bumili ng kotse. Isang kotse, 1-2 million. Parang, paano nila na-afford yun?
Yeah.
And then,
on top of all the other expenses, you have to pay for gas, you have to pay for all the bills. Like, how does that even, it doesn't make sense in your head.
But I think if you have like a certain initiative, a certain like motivation to actually accomplish something, it always helps and it opens a lot of doors. Parang I would say that we're fairly lucky, but parang yung motivation along with the luck, parang tumutulong sa atin to like be where we are right now.
Mm-hmm. I know, like when we have this friend that's about to get married. They're newlywed, actually.
Yes.
And every time they ask us, they're about to move into their own condo. And every time they ask us about expenses, and we say like, oh no, it's fine. You can, kaya niyo yan. Pero when you have a kid, magugulot na lang kayo, mag times 3 times 4 yung expenses niyo. They're like, what? I can't imagine. I'm like, kami din. We couldn't imagine before. And then nagulot na lang kami. Like, patay, wala na kami pera.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I feel like mag-a-adapt talaga tayo. That's, as human beings, parang normal for us to adapt. Let's say, for example, we're not as successful professionally. Parang mag-a-adapt din yung lifestyle natin. Na, okay, mas titipid tayo, probably a smaller house, probably...
Or no yaya. Or...
Ganyan.
Yeah.
I think...
No eating out or whatever.
Yes. I think kahit papano, magsusurvive talaga tayo. The quote I heard about this was like, today is the tomorrow...
You were worried about yesterday.
Yes. So, today is the tomorrow that I was so worried about yesterday. And I feel like it's very, very true. And every time I feel anxious for the future, I would always try to remind myself na itong moment na to, the today, was ito yung
sleepless nights
anxiety ko
ako
dati
kahapon.
na
Yes.
anong mangyayari sa akin? Will I marry the right person? Will I have enough success professionally? Will I have a happy family, etc., etc.? All the times I worried in the past, okay naman ngayon. So in the future, I'm hoping na okay lang din.
So this is kind of like a message to yourself when you get anxious, which happens to me a lot now, especially that I'm pregnant. Like every night I tell you, love, my gosh, I'm so scared. Ang lapit-lapit na.
Yes.
You're so worried about something. Even, especially like at the peak of labor when it's so painful and you feel like the world is gonna end. I'm gonna die in this bed. It's so painful, ganyan. It's so many anxieties. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Like, it's helpful to know that, these moments will pass. And after these moments pass, eto na yun. Ito na yung moment na I was so worried about and everything's fine. I'm not dead. I'm not in pain. In fact, I'm happy, stuff like that.
Speaking of mga anxiety and kahapon I got a message and it was surprising na message. I got a message from someone I worked with na yung office nila nagsasara daw for a day. They're taking a mental day break.
A mental health day.
Mental health day break. Because of the elections. Parang sinabi nila na the elections was super anxious building up to the moment kung sino i-elect. And then ngayon,
a lot of them were
like,
stressed.
Yes, a lot of them were stressed. A lot of them, I'm sure na parang, hindi nila natanggap yung nanalo na presidente. So, parang meron silang pahinga muna daw sila. For a day lang naman. And then they'll be back on towards whatever it is. I'm talking about this because I feel like, yes, a lot of us agree on kung sino dapat magiging presidente o sino hindi. Meron ding nagdi-disagree. Pero at the end of the day, you control what you can control. Yung ibang bagay na hindi natin kontrolado, dapat tanggapin na lang natin para we can move forward and we can roll with the punches and parang, I would say, adapt.
I think to me what's more shocking about that message is actually a whole company saying, okay, you guys deserve this day to kind of recoup and like, you know, get yourself like stabilize.
Yes.
Which is so foreign because when I was younger, there was no such thing. Like depression, it was not a sickness. It was just, you know, like a little bit more than being sad. And if you say,
Yes.
I'm depressed, it was just normal. Like, I'm depressed, she's sad. Parang ngayon, you can't take that word lightly because people are actually depressed. You know what I mean? Like, some people, we have friends who don't believe in mental health issues. Akala nila, sakit mayaman. Diba?
Mga ganyan. Yes, mga old school friends
Mga
natin.
old school friends. But then, like, you know, it's a real thing. And it's nice that there are companies who actually really, like, take note of that.
I feel like it's good that a lot of people are speaking about it and talking about it because ako, wala naman hindi ako dumaan sa ganyan, pero parang, oh, this is a real thing pala talaga.
Yeah. And even if you
awareness,
even if you never went through it, it doesn't mean that other people aren't. Or it's
Yes.
not possible for
Yeah. And then parang, hindi, iba pala yun sa sadness, iba pala yung depressed nga. I would say, I liken it to like a dark cloud hovering.
Yeah.
I have days like that naman talaga na kahit papaano, you can't think positive. You feel like negative talaga, everything that's happening, everything's going wrong. What's the point? Parang ganyan. I have days like that and I feel like hindi naman siya depression because it's like fleeting. Hindi yung, but I can understand if someone were to get stuck there, ang hirap.
Yeah.
Ang hirap to find joy and meaning and so
When it comes to like your thoughts actually evolve into something more dangerous.
yes.
What's the point of me being here? I should just take my own life and the world will be a better place. I know that's like super dark, but it's true because we have this friend who's gone through it and she told me it literally feels like there's a dark cloud hovering over your head. No matter what anybody says.
Do I know this friend?
Yeah, you know this friend. Like no matter what anybody says, di niya matanggap. Like, oh, you don't get me. And then like when she's alone, she just wants to take her own life.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then I just also read this article recently na parang they're a couple. I think the girl's Thai and the guy is, I don't know, American or something. And then they had a baby together. And parang everything was fine. But then the girl started like having anxiety and depression because she couldn't produce milk. And like all her life, she was an overachiever.
Yes.
So she's super smart, accomplished and everything. And then suddenly there's this facet in her life producing milk for her kid. Hindi niya magawa. And it messed her up mentally na, I can't even do this. This is so simple. This is for the survival of my child.
Yes.
So she beat herself up over it no matter what her husband said. Nag-formula sila but she still felt so bad. Long story short, at the end of the day, she suddenly started saying scary things to her husband na sana wala na lang to, sana hindi na lang nangyari yung anak, sana balik na lang tayo sa before. So the husband kind of checked her into a mental institute or something like that and they diagnosed her as depressed or something like that along those lines. Long story short, nagpakamatay siya and she took the life of her kid also.
Wow.
At wala pang one.
Wow, that's a sad story.
And then nag-leave pa siya ng mga notes na like what was her note? Something like, thank you so much. You all parang tried your best to help me, but I can't be saved. Parang something like that.
If you guys want to hear the full episode, you can
Check us out on Spotify.
Spotify.
It's free, guys. It's free.
See you there.
SKYPODCAST.
SKYPODCAST.